I sneezed in study hall and now everyone thinks that I'm racist. What did you just say? Mr. Hampton screamed as he jumped out of his chair. I stared at him, confused, my hand still covering my nose. I sneezed, I said, but he was already shaking his head violently. Don't lie to me. I heard exactly what came out of your mouth. You just shouted the N-word with a hard R. I could feel the eyes of every other kid in the classroom on me. Are you insane? I asked him. I'm literally white. I'm not racist and I know I can't use that word. It was a sneeze, I responded. You need to apologize to this entire class right now. If you think I'm going to put up with hate speech in my classroom, you have another thing coming. Mr. Hampton grabbed the classroom phone and called the office, saying a white student was yelling out slurs for fun. Within 2 minutes, the assistant principal was at the door, looking at me like I had a white sheet over my face. He took me to the main office while Mr. Hampton followed behind us, still ranting. I taught in inner-city schools for 20 years, and I've never seen such blatant disrespect, he shouted down the hallway. And then to sit there and pretend it was a sneeze? Do you think I'm an idiot? Do you think I don't know the difference between a bodily function and hate speech? Yeah, I did think he's an idiot. My parents were called immediately, and I could hear my mom's panicked voice on speakerphone asking what happened. Your son screamed a racial slur in the middle of class, the assistant principal explained. My mom actually gasped. It was a sneeze! I tried to explain, but she cut me off, saying we'd discuss it at home in a tone that made my blood run cold. The principal arrived and sat across from me with his arms folded. Do you think racism is funny, young man? I sneezed, I repeated, my voice cracking, but he just sighed. Mr. Hampton kept going, pacing around the office and gesturing wildly as he spoke. This is what happens when parents don't teach their children about respect and consequences. First, it's just a slur here and there, and the next thing you know, you're committing hate crimes. My mom arrived looking absolutely horrified, and when she sat down next to me, she whispered, "Please tell me this isn't true," in a voice so small I barely heard it. The principal spoke like I wasn't even there, saying I would be expelled or have to read an apology letter in front of the entire school. Do you even understand the history of that word? Mr. Hampton demanded, getting right in my face. Do you understand the pain and trauma associated with it? Or do you just think it's funny to throw around because you heard it in a rap song? He was practically shaking with rage now, telling my mom that she clearly failed me, that I was exactly the kind of student who made his job impossible. The assistant principal mentioned they were considering whether this qualified as a hate crime that needed to be reported to the district. My mom looked at me with tears streaming down her face, and I realized nobody in that room believed me. Fine, I finally said, my hands shaking with anger now. Play back the security footage. There are cameras everywhere. Just listen to what actually happened and stop accusing me of being something I'm not. The principal phoned for the security tech, and he arrived in the office within minutes. He pulled up the footage on his laptop and turned the volume all the way up. Everyone crowded around the monitor as the video showed me sitting at my desk, completely focused on my homework. Then my face scrunched up and a loud achoo echoed through the speakers. The principal frowned and asked the tech to play it again. Same thing, a completely normal sneeze that sounded exactly like a sneeze. One more time, Mr. Hampton demanded, leaning closer to the speaker. The tech played it a third time at maximum volume. Just a sneeze. My mom turned to Mr. Hampton with her eyebrows raised. That's a sneeze. The principal looked uncomfortable and asked, Mr. Hampton, did you remember to put in your hearing aids today? Mr. Hampton's face went pale as he touched his ears. Both hearing aids were sitting in his desk drawer back in the classroom. He'd forgotten to put them in that morning. The room went completely silent. Mr. Hampton stared at the floor while my mom crossed her arms and gave him a look that could have melted steel. I stood up, grabbed my backpack, and walked toward the door. Right before I left, I turned back to Mr. Hampton and sneezed loudly, making him jump.